Hey then fam! Happy New Year! So, as you can see, still on the headset, haven't quite got the money together for the new microphone. Well I do, but I'm still searching out which one to buy. Anyway, need to crack on. I was watching my mate Wingy yesterday, and he did this video where he basically was giving out tips to his fellow Xbox brethren. And I thought it was probably a good idea that I reciprocate with a PlayStation centric video along some similar lines. So if you'll indulge me. These are basically some tips, some thoughts, some ideas. Now, there's no hard and fast rules here. Just things I think that will make our lives as a community just easier, nicer, less stressful. And, dare I say, possibly more pleasant. So, what indeed is the first tip, as it were? Basically, now this is going to sound crazy to some of you out there, especially some of you on the more sort of pony side of things. But, how about we just show a little love to the Xbox brothers and sisters out there, because crucially they're gamers as well. Yes, they are gamers like you and I. They're human beings like you and I. They've all got a mum, they've all got a dad, they're all been born, they'll all die. When it gets right down to it, the only thing that really separates us, when you get right down to the very core of it, is the position of our sticks. That's it. We both press X. We both play video games. Admittedly, there's some games that are not on some system and some games that are not on the other system. But when you get right down to it, some of us have got sticks like this, and some of us have got sticks like that. That's all there is. So, drop the hate, drop the stress, drop the posturing, and embrace your fellow gaming brothers and sisters, regardless of platform. And with that, we step into number 2. Number 2 is basically leave the past in the past. Yes. He said that, and he said that, and she said the other thing, and this was said in an article 3 years ago, and this little thing was pointed out on the website here, and blah, 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 blah. It's tiring, it's exhausting, it's pointless. You know what it does? It draws division. It brings stress. You're measuring compute units, and you're measuring gamer score, and you're doing this, you're doing that, and all of it is quite unnecessary. It's like what Kevin Butler said back in E3 all those years ago. It's like, if you get an awesome girlfriend, and your friend gets an awesome girlfriend, you know who wins? Everybody. So, if somebody said something mean, that's their business, that's their life to do as they want. They want to be mean, let them be mean. Rise above it, be better than that, move on with your life. And, accept that some people are just not going to like the things you like, and, you're not going to like some of the things they like, and move past it. Keep your eye focused on the future. Look forward to the cool things, the games coming out, the equipment to happen, the advances to be made, the cool things, the good things, the positive stuff. There's enough in this life to make you feel bad, there's been enough craziness these last 2 years, let's face it. Let's focus on the cool stuff, on the stuff that makes you smile inside and outside. So let the past be the past. Life is like parkour. You can only go forwards. Okay, third one. Now this one, I personally think to be really rather important. Not as important as it can be, considering that we're lovers of a, quite frankly, a leisure pastime. Okay? That would bring too much stress and too much craziness to. But this is nonetheless, I think, a rule or tip or guideline or whatever you want to call it that could be quite useful to quite a lot of people in the community. Play your games to completion, if you can. Obviously, I mean, there's some games will just eventually just allow you to get no further. But if you complete your games, then complete your game, and I'll tell you for why. Okay? All too often, we get, like, we're playing a game, and another game comes up, and instead of finishing that game, we move on to the next game, and then we move on to the next game, and the next game, and before you know it, you've got anywhere from half a dozen to 24 games, possibly more, where you've not even got halfway through, you know? And then what happens is, people go, oh, did you get to that bit? And then you feel bad. You know, because you didn't experience the game like your pal experienced the game. You're not part of the conversation. You were so caught up in the FOMO of the next title that you've given yourself FOMO for all the other games you haven't really played. You started them, yeah. You probably had a bit of fun, sure. But you never truly experienced them. And yeah, okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games have come out. And you've not even touched them yet. They're sitting, you know, either on your hard drive or in a little stack next to your entertainment centre. And those games are sitting there going, play me, play me. And you will. But life is busy. Some of us have jobs and kids and run YouTube channels. Some of us have full-time education. Some of us have limited time on which we can game because we're a kid and our parents have our consoles locked with parental locks. You know, we all have our struggles for time. We all have to make priorities. You know, we've all got stuff we need to do. Perhaps you're a gamer, but you also, you know, you're like do a dance class 2-3 times a week. You know, you got to make sure you're at class practicing like your tap or your modern jazz or whatever. You know, or you maybe study a martial art and you have to stay on top of your training and try and enjoy your gaming. You know, life is about balance. It's about priorities. You know, and there's certain things that we might give ourselves to do or we might have to do to make life work. Because as much as we love gaming, man cannot live by bread alone. Yes? So, do your best to complete your games. You'll be happier in the long run for it. Because there's nothing quite like watching those credits roll at the end of a game. And, personally, me, I let the credits roll because those people, they deserve their moment in the sun for all the hard work they put in. So let those end credits roll when you get to the end of the game. You don't have to jump games to experience the games. You can wait. And once you've waited, then the game is all the sweeter. In fact, half the time, you don't even have to buy the game straight away. Sometimes it's a good idea to wait a little bit and then the game drops in price. The amount of games I've bought second hand is ridiculous. Because sometimes, you know, you wait for the people who couldn't wait. They play the game. Some of them blast through the game and, you know, do the game in like a couple of weeks. And it's, you know, it's in the game store. You know, whatever country you're in. It's in there in second hand. You pick it up for like a third the price if you're lucky. Depending on the title and the, you know, how popular it is and stuff. But at very least, less than what it was when it came out. So, you know, play your games at your speed, complete your games, and trust me, you'll be better off for it. And I think you'll be a more rounded gamer for it. You'll certainly get the fullness of experience out of your 70 quid expenditure, you know, because games are expensive. Squeeze every last drip of entertainment out of that game. You owe it to yourself. Right, what's the next one? Right, This one is a bit tricky to do, and obviously it changes upon circumstance. Try, even just a little bit, to have less time on social media platforms. You know, your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your radio. There's a million platforms out there that do all kinds of things. Main thing is, right, have a couple of really trusted sources that you go to get your information or to catch up with your pals, who might live far away from you or whatever, and friends and family and stuff. But by and large, social media, all it is keeping up with the Joneses and reading bile and hatred from other people who have empty lives. Don't bother with that. Move on from that. It's useful to have these apps, and sometimes you find out interesting information, and sometimes interesting opportunities spring up from it. I mean, you find out about competitions and stuff. But by and large, social media, especially places like Facebook and Twitter, are generally breeding grounds for negativity, and sometimes it's good just to unplug. Every once in a while, what I like to do, and it's really hard for me to do because I'm a content creator, so I have to stay on top of the stuff, But if I ever get the chance, I like to sometimes just not touch social media for like 2-3 days. One time I even did it for a week. And, there's a certain relief, admittedly, for the first wee while, you're like, what's going on? What am I missing? But then after a wee bit, you kind of sort of kick back and go, you know what? It doesn't really truly matter. It's nice to know. It's nice to be part of the conversation. But sometimes you just need to empty your brain and just chill. Leave the trolls to trolling. Leave the console wars to console warring. You look after you. You own your mental health. It's your business. And, the health is the only thing you've really got that's under your control. So look after yourselves out there. Every once in a while, it's a good idea to disconnect from social media. Or at very least, try and cut it down a wee bit. I know I do too much, but I'm kind of in the content creator space. But you out there probably are not. So take that opportunity. You don't have to be on social media. Make advantage of that, Eject it from your life for a wee while, or at least lighten the load. Lord knows you'll spend less time looking at your phone and more time looking at your game system on your telly. Get your gaming done, and put your social media on the back burner. Right, and the last one, which I think is really important. Share the joy of gaming. Gaming is what makes you happy, alright? Share that happy with others. It's sort of like, and let's, while we're sharing the joy, remove the things that do not bring joy. So in essence, let's bin the gatekeeping, regardless of system, regardless of genre, regardless of age and sexuality and gender identity, all that stuff. It can all just blow away in the wind like a dandelion cock on a summer's day. Just drift off because it's not really needed. Let yourself just be chill and focus on the things that make you happy in gaming. Go, hey, that time when I had 5 of my mates around and we just gamed for like 16 hours straight, and we had snacks in and it was awesome, and we cleared so many levels, and we got so strong in the game, or whatever it is. And bring your people into your games. If you're an Xbox guy and you got friends that are PlayStation, invite them round. You know, show them why you enjoy what you enjoy, but don't make them feel unwelcome. Just share the joy of your system. And if you're a PlayStation guy, do exactly the same. You know, which basically takes us back kind of to rule number one. You know, have a little bit of time, care, respect for your fellow gamers, and share the joy. You know, which also kind of knits into the social media rule. You know, it's sort of like life is short. Now, some of you out there are probably like in your teens or early 20s, and you're going, what are you talking about then, bloke? I've got loads of time. Aye, you've got loads of time now, trust me. I'm 47, alright? I know that I'm like, probably at least, more, if not more than halfway through my projected existence, you know? And only so much of that can be done in gaming. Only so much of that can be spent with my kid. Only so much of that, you know, can be being with my wife. You grab the happy where you can. And when you have the happy, take it and make it everything you can. Because there's enough stuff in this life that doesn't make your happy happen. So as I'm always saying on this channel, make your happy happen. You know? Spread the love of gaming. Get rid of the, you know, drop the things that don't make you feel good. Help others to feel good, because you know what? When you make other people feel good, you feel even better. There's nothing quite like, you know, brightening somebody's day to give you a psychological boost. It just feels really good, helping other people feel really good. So, get about it. Right, after this video, what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to see if you could hunt down 2 or 3 other small YouTubers that you've never seen before, right? Probably guys with really small sub counts. Go to the video, watch it from beginning to end, and leave them a comment of a positive nature, and then just for the hell of it, whether or not you like the video, smack them with a like. And you know what? That creator will feel really good about themselves. I know that because when somebody leaves a like and a comment on my video, it feels really good. So go out there and give a couple of people a wee sort of just boost to their day. You know, maybe they'll not see the video comment now. Maybe they'll wake up tomorrow morning before work or school or whatever, and they'll see that in their notifications. They'll go, hey. And you know what? Because you make that person happy, they'll be more inclined to make somebody else happy. And it just pays forward and it snowballs and it snowballs. And maybe, just maybe, if we do this enough, maybe there'll just be a little bit less stress in the world. And if there's less stress in the world, maybe there'll be a bit more time for gaming. Okay guys, I think I've rattled on quite long enough. But these are just, you know, some food for thought ideas. You just have a wee bash of that and see what you think. Anyway, you know the drill. Hashtag Sports Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, aye, no bother.